Este é um vídeo sobre todos os hacks que já existiram no LoL. A gente sempre foi o servidor menos fiscalizado e também onde a galera estava disposta a usar esses hacks. Então eu acho que a gente vai conseguir reconhecer todos. Será que a gente conhece mesmo absolutamente todos? Eu acho que sim. Vamos ver.
League sucks. We all know it, and it's filled with game-changing bugs.
Invisible! Invisible!
This is League of Legends history of exploits. In the beginning, the exploits were brutal. Heimerdinger could load up turrets in base, blocking his minions from leaving, then remove...
Ah, mas daí, mano, isso daí não é nem hack, guys. É só o minion block do jogo que é zoado e daí o Heimerdinger conseguia fazer isso com as torres.
one of his turrets, which would release an unstoppable wave of minions, winning every game. Blitzcrank had a global hook, which isn't really patched to this day. And Poppy could push...
Eu sinto que esse hook global do Blitzcrank vem do PUD do Dota, porque o PUD do Dota até hoje tem um hook global, se eu não me engano.
Baron using her E all the way back to base. Yeah, but...
Teve um cara, ó, pra rapaziada aí que é mais nova no jogo, teve um cara no Dota, que se eu não me engano foi em 2013, que foi um time. Eles ganharam o Mundial. Foi o Mundial? Não, não ganharam o Mundial. Acho que foi a semifinal de um time chinês muito pica. Usando uma estratégia de um Blitzcrank com um boneco que mandava o seu aliado pra base. Então pensa que ele sempre hookava o inimigo pra base. Só que era super difícil de acertar o timing e só esse time conseguia executar.
with League just released,
Era Navi, era Navi.
Riot were patching it up as soon as they could. However, in 2012, a player would discover a game-breaking exploit. Normally, Darius E pulls all opponents' hit into his latest position. But in July, during a brief patch, a player discovered how to exploit that. If Darius started a teleport back to his base and then hit E right before finishing the teleport, all opponents' hit would be pulled into his latest position, which was now in his base. That meant all enemies would be pulled back to Fountain and instantly die. And that wasn't the only Fountain problem, because by using a dash on any character, you ran the risk of going all the way back to base. Renekton E, LeBlanc W, or even Wukong E.
Isso aí eu nunca vi, esse daí de usar o dash e ir pra base. Eu nunca vi, não.
The game was bugged. And in October of 2014, one of the worst exploits yet would surface. A user by the name of Owned by Hyvan claimed he accidentally discovered that he could place an unlimited amount of Azir's towers in lane. But this
isso eu
wasn't the
lembro.
only mystifying thing, because by looking at his match history, he had seemingly accidentally discovered this in every game he played. 22 wins in a row, all with Azir. His elo had gone from silver 5 to plat in a matter of days.
O cara foi do prata pro platina em dias, mano.
Riot patched up the exploit within a couple of weeks, and Owned by Hyvan was banned for abusing it, which meant that from now on, Riot would ban you for willingly exploiting the game. But we gotta talk about 2015.
Oh, isso é true, mano, porque hoje em dia dá pra você reportar o cara por abusar de bug, né, e cheat, etc. Só que antes a atitude da Riot era falar que eles não tinham bug, eles não tinham hack no jogo deles. Então eles simplesmente fingiam que não existia e você não tinha nem como reportar a parada ali, entendeu?
For willingly exploiting the game. But we gotta talk about 2015. Because LeBlanc and Syndra both...
Cara, 2015 eu lembro que já começou uns scripts sinistros. Eu lembro de jogador de Cartos, especialmente.
had game-breaking exploits. By placing Cillian's ult on LeBlanc's clone right before his death, the clone would be brought back permanently. Unkillable, utilizing crit, lifesteal,
Nossa, mano, você conseguia reviver o clone e ter ele pelo resto do jogo.
and with full attack damage. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But that wasn't all. Cassandra could literally steal Baron. I'm not kidding. Riot
Eu
claimed the
lembro.
chances were astronomically small, but they had to patch it up since those odds were still higher than your jungler actually hitting smites. 2016. Remember when Jace could two-shot any turret? When Ezreal R had a hitbox this big? Or when Azir's R against the wall would do this? Riot stood no chance. With a new map and a bunch of new characters, the bugs were out of hand. However, Caitlyn had the bug worse than any other. She could auto-attack with infinite distance. Yeah. A player named Ryze
Eu não lembro disso, mano.
So Fenris discovered that by clicking the enemy right as they stepped on a Caitlyn trap, then pressing space to return to character, and instantly hitting E, Caitlyn would fire a headshot, hitting any trapped player
Ah, mas daí o cara tinha que pisar na trap dela.
she clicked on. The season had barely started, and 4 champs were already disabled. Could anything be worse than
Pelo menos nessa época ele desabilitava o campeão, né? Aí, pô, teve o Azir agora, que causou bug no CBLOL, no Academy, em outras ligas lá fora. Teve tudo que dá chrono break nas partidas, mas nada de desabilitar o boneco.
this? The answer is yes, it could. And it was called the Lee Sin invisibility glitch. See, normally Lee Sin's Q has 2 parts. The first a projectile, and the second a dash to any opponent hit. However, in early 2017, r/Lee Sin mains would discover something ridiculous. If the target hit with the first part of Lee Sin's Q was knocked up, and the timing was perfect, Lee Sin would go invisible for about 50 seconds. Q,
Caraca, velho, ele ficava invi, mano.
R knock up, perfectly timed Q dash, invisible.
Wait, where am I? I'm invisible.
Good luck warding for a jungler literally off the map.
Eu lembro da cena invisível desse Lee Sin, não.
And you know what else was off the map? Baron. Because by using Warwick's Q, you could slowly but surely pull Baron backwards until you reached whatever you pleased. Maybe spawn or a random bush. And that wasn't all. Because Sion players discovered how to fully control his R. See, normally, Sion's R goes in more...
Isso aqui era sacanagem, mano. Isso aqui teve toda partida de LoL nesse ano, velho. Toda partida do Raelo tinha porra de um Sion desse.
Sion players
Era
discovered how
patifaria.
to fully control his R. See, normally, Sion's R goes in more or less a straight line, slowly
A galera
accelerating
começou a banir Sion, pô, por causa disso aqui.
before knocking up and dealing a ton of damage to any opponent's hit. So you probably realized how broken it would be if you could fully control this. Vanderil, one of the most prominent bug catchers today, made a video about it in 2019. However, when I was researching the video, I found evidence of it as far back as 2017, meaning that it took Riot over 2 years to patch up this.
2 anos pra consertar isso.
And while this was crazy, exploits and glitches happening in normals aren't that serious. But when millions of dollars are on the
É o Brian, guys. É o Brian, não é bug não.
line, it's an entirely different thing. Let me explain. During LCS in 2017, FlyQuest engaged Cloud9 in a beautiful play to secure a kill on C9 support. However, Misfortune's ult didn't go off. Cloud9 quickly turned the play and instead got a kill on FlyQuest.
Já tinha chrono break aqui?
Obviously an unfair situation. So what's Riot's move? Well, previously to this, they developed a tool called Chrono Break, allowing them to rewind the game back to a point before any bug happened, then unpause the game without the bug. So Riot pulled out Chrono Break, Misfortune's ult went off, and justice was served. You're probably wondering how this is an exploit. Well, let me explain. Back in 2018, Clutch Gaming were up against Echo Fox in the League Championship Series, and 32 minutes in, the game crashed. Quickly, Riot
Eu lembro disso, velho. O jogo, tipo, mano, era uma parada sincera. Não sei se era a galera tentando subir pra liga profissional, não sei qual que era o rolê, mas o bagulho simplesmente crashou. O jogo crashou, mano. E não queria voltar.
scrambled to use Chrono Break, but it failed. They couldn't recover the game. And that's when Riot made a controversial decision to give Echo Fox the win, because of their 10,000 gold lead. The community was outraged. But how is this an exploit, you're probably still wondering? Well, do you want to win $2.5 million? Simply get a 10k
Olha isso, mano. Era 2,5 milhões de dólares da premiação, pô. Ah, era meio difícil de voltar nesse jogo. Vai, mano. 10k atrás? Só se for no split, mas os caras não levaram nenhuma torre. E é o Solo. O Solo não é um jogador de split. É, esse jogo aqui já tinha acabado mesmo.
Well, do you want to win $2.5 million? Simply get a 10k gold lead and then crash the game. Riot will simply award you the win. And let me put it like this. There is plenty of ways to crash League. 1. Lock in Viego, kill Rel, turn into her, crash. 2.
Pega Viego, mata a Rel, se transforma nela, crashou o jogo.
Lock in Viego, have a teammate lock in Anivia, press E on Anivia's wall, crash. Number 3, type in Sheet Engine in your web browser, crash. 4, Briar, Herald, Ultimate, hop in Herald, crash. 5, lock in Talia or Cortes, pick Smite, crash. League sucks. The champions, the balancing, the skins, even the coding. I mean, in 2019, you could literally walk through walls. I'm not
Caralho, velho, esse cara é fã ou hater, mano.
kidding, just straight up go through them. I hate League of... Oh.
É fã, guys.
But we gotta
Ele
talk
só é um
about the
sofredor.
infinite
Não tem coisa mais triste pro criador de conteúdo quando a pessoa gosta do vídeo e não se inscreve no canal, lança aquele likezão, manda um comentário aqui embaixo. Pô, ajuda demais. Agora prossiga com o vídeo.
Teemo mushroom glitch. Because you're probably wondering how one does this. Well, let me explain. Vandril, yes, Vandril again, he's like the bug guy in the League community. Shout out to him. Anyway, Vandril found an exploit on PBE allowing 0 cooldowns on any champ, which meant that Yasuo could infinitely ult. Spam its wind walls on any champ, which meant that Yasuo
É o Yasuo de anime, representado aí pelo anime verdadeiro.
could infinitely ult. Spam its wind walls all around him. Mundo could infinitely heal by spamming his R. And worst of all, Teemo could do this. And while all that's crazy, we gotta talk about the exploits ruining League today. Because there's a whole bunch.
Agora, ó, são os bugs que afetam o LoL hoje. A Zyra consegue dar IK no Baron e os Grubs conseguem ser mortos da base.
Only a couple of weeks ago, you could hit the Void Grubs, simply run back to base, and then kill them while regenning under the fountain. Aurelion could spam his ultimate, because by holding W and spamming R out of range, his ultimate had 0 cooldown. And not only
Caraca.
that, but he could do global damage with his
Por
W.
que ninguém me avisa isso pra eu usar?
Whoa. Wait, why am I dying? Huh?
Only a month after that, you could get infinite damage on any champ that scaled with mana. Literally infinite. Vandril discovered that by picking the
Esse do biscoito eu lembro. Eles tiveram que desabilitar o biscoito, a runa.
biscuit delivery rune, giving you biscuits in-game, and then selling the first biscuit you got. Then clicking undo sell, League would give you a little bit of extra mana. And if you kept selling and undoing, it would keep
Eu não sei se eles desabilitaram o biscoito, desabilitaram o Ryze, ou proibiram no competitivo de você pegar biscoito. Eu não lembro qual que foi o rolê.
going up. This meant that champions who scale with mana could slowly increase their mana and then also damage to infinite, dealing infinite damage. On top of that, Saya would literally get buffed by dying, because after her death, her Q would suddenly move faster. Look
Eu
closely.
lembro disso.
Blitzcrank could, well, walk through walls. Yeah, after 5 years, Riot still hasn't fixed the wall walkthrough bug.
Cara, eu lembro, é que ele não comentou, mas lembra daquele bug que o Cartus saía da fonte mais cedo? Tipo, começa o jogo, você tem 15 segundos dentro da sua fonte. O Cartus, ele conseguia simplesmente ignorar isso e sair andando, só ele. E daí todos os Cartus faziam isso no Raela, mano. E eu não lembro de ninguém ter sido banido.
But if you think that's crazy, Syra can literally one-shot Baron using a single ability. By placing her ultimate at max range, then flashing away, Baron will instantly get one-shot. That's wild. And the same exploit works on Sion too, because by kicking an opponent into the Baron, he will also deal ridiculous amounts of damage.
Yeah?
And this brings us to the absolute latest exploit, found only 19 hours before I posted this video, meaning that you could head in game right now and try it, because they just broke Tam and Nunu. Normally, Nunu charges up a powerful ult that explodes.
É o bug do Nunu com o tanquente, que o Nunu começa a ultar e o tanquente engole ele. Eu acho que você tem que dar recall de Nunu, ultar e o tanquente engolir, alguma parada assim.
And deals damage in the area around him. However, he has to stand in the same
Ele não falou da Pop dando martelada na base, matando todo mundo, e eu acho que o Cartus fazia a mesma coisa dando o Q da base, não fazia?
place. But as you probably understand, there is a bypass. If Nunu starts a recall and then cancels it by pressing R, and Tam Kench eats him at just the right moment, he can pick up Nunu and walk around, which means
Então tem que ser no timing perfeito. O tanquente, ele tem que comer o Nunu no timing perfeito.
that you can charge up the ult, then walk in and get the penta. But if you're planning to do this, be aware. It's extremely hard as the timing has to be perfect, and Riot might just ban you when...
Fia, até fazendo Mylonzete.
Now that I think about it, wouldn't be so bad. Maybe I would be happier if I just stopped with this league stuff, you know? You know what? Maybe I'm gonna...
Vocês agradeceriam se o LoL te banisse, guys? Só pra saber assim, sim ou não?
Hello guys, I'm Legend of Poro, and thank you so much.
Legal, velho. Eu acho que ele esqueceu bastante coisa, né? Como a gente falou do bug na base aí, tem outros scripts. Ele não falou de script, mano. Ele não falou dos maquinados. E isso é uma coisa que eu tenho que explicar pra vocês, rapaziada. Os maquinados basicamente existiam somente no Brasil. Porque como acontecia no Brasil, a Riot gringa não ligava, então eles não tinham motivo para consertar. Essa é a nossa missão no Ilha das Lendas, salvar o cenário e fazer a galera de lá fora se importar com nós. E dessa vez a gente vai conseguir fazer com que o Mundial seja no Brasil, mano. Porque a gente vai dar um pau nos números de todas as ligas, velho. A gente vai dar um pau nos números da LEC, que o Mundial vai ser na Europa, né? Nesse ano vai ser na Europa. No ano que vem vai ser num lugar maior, com mais números, com mais visualizações, que no caso é nós, entendeu?